Hello dear students, welcome to the online lecture for the students of BA Part 2. The subject is English Literature. As you all know that in our previous videos we studied the poem To Autumn written by John Keats, and in this video I am going to explain the last and third stanza of the poem. This poem was published in 1820 and John Keats is the composer of the poem. He was born in 1795 and died in 1821. This poem is this poem consists 3 stanzas of 11 lines each, and this poem describes progression through the season. Imagery is richly achieved as you all know that in the second stanza of the poem autumn is personified doing various agricultural works in the field. This poem has been regarded by critics as one of the most perfect short poems in the English language. And this last stanza, the text is on your screen, students. This last stanza contrasts autumn's sound with those of spring season. The reference to spring, the growing lambs and the migrating swallows remind the reader that the seasons are a cycle, widening the scope of this stanza from a single season in general life. So as the text suggests, this stanza is about the music or the songs of autumn season. In the opening line of this stanza, the poet asks a question: where are the songs of spring? Where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too. Here the poet himself answers the question, and he is saying that he is addressing the autumn season, and he is saying that you should not worry and you should not think about the music or the songs of spring, because you have your own music too. While barred clouds bloom the soft dying day and touch the stubble plains with a rosy hue. These two lines suggest the evening scene where the clouds bloom in the soft dying day. Here you can notice the adjective used, soft dying day. Here the day is not dying. This is an example of transferred epithet. The day is not dying, but the day is ending. So at the time of sunset, we all notice the beauty of nature, that at that time the rays of the sun touch the stubble plains with the color rosy hue. At that time of evening, the poet in the next line the poet mentions that then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river shallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. So in these lines the poet mentioned the music that is created by the creatures at the time of evening in autumn season. Here he mentions the wailful, that means the melancholic sounds of small lambs mourn among the river shallows, and here the poet used the words, the negative, or we can say the sadistic words like wailful or mourn, because they are lamenting the dying day. So among the river shallows, borne aloft or sinking as the light wind lives or dies. Here the poet again mentions the cool breeze that is blowing at the time, and he is saying that at the time of evening, when the lamps are departing to their shades, they are mourning the dying day. And at the same time, the river swallows means the small birds that are at the bank of the river on the trees, they are also making noise. And full grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. And the full grown lambs means the young lambs are bleating at the hilly areas. Hedge crickets sing, and now with trebles of the red-breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. Here the poet again mentions the various creatures that make noise at the time of evening in autumn season. He is saying that hedge cricket also sing there, and now with treble soft voice, the red-breast whistle. This is a type of bird. The red-breast robin bird also making also chirping there, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies. And there the flock of swallows twittering in the skies. So this stanza is purely celebrates the evening, the dying day, the sun at the time of sunset. And here in this stanza, the poet refer to the music of autumn. Within the poem, autumn represents growth, maturation, and finally an approaching death. There is a fulfilling union between the ideal and the real. And in this poem, there is a harmony between the finality of death and hints of renewal of life in the cycle of the seasons, paralleled by the renewal of a single day. And when we talk about the structure of the poem, this poem is an odal hymn, and this is divided in three classical sections, that is strophe, antistrophe, and epode. As you all know, that first stanza depicts the progression, the maturation at the time of autumn. The second stanza celebrates the various agricultural works done by the farmers in the fields. And also the second stanza creates an environment of personification. And this last stanza talks about the music that is at the time of autumn season. The rhyme scheme of this poem stanzas is A B A B C D E D C C E. So that's all about the poem. In our next videos, we will start a new poem that is prescribed in your course. So thank you all.